John is somebody that I actually got along with very well. He made some very big mistakes. When he talked about the Libyan model for Kim Jong-un, that was not a good statement to make. You just take a look at what happened with Gaddafi. That was not a good statement to make, and it set us back. And frankly, he wanted to do things not necessarily tougher than me. You know, John's known as a tough guy. He's so tough he got us into Iraq. That's tough. And but he's somebody that I actually had a very good relationship with, but he wasn't getting along with people in the administration that I consider very important. And I hope we've left in good stead, but maybe we have and maybe we haven't. I have to run the country the way we're running the country. We're doing very well. We're respected all over the world again. Respected like we haven't been respected in many, many years. John wasn't in line with what we were doing. And actually, in some cases, he thought it was too tough what we were doing. Mr. Tough Guy, you know, you have to go into Iraq. Going into Iraq was something that he felt very strongly about. So we're right now in for over $7 trillion into the Middle East. And I don't say it was his decision. You had a president and you had other people also, but he was very out there, I can tell you, and wanting to have them do it.
An inverted yield curve. It's a warning signal with an eerily accurate track record for predicting future recessions. So what exactly is an inversion and why does it matter? Well, in plain terms, during a so-called inversion, investors get paid better interest rates to lend money for a shorter period of time than a longer one. Yep, that's not typical. Usually longer-term bonds are considered more risky because your money's locked up for longer and therefore should pay a better interest than a shorter-term one. But when the yield curve inverts, a shorter-term bond, like the 2-year Treasury note, pays more than a longer-term bond, like the 10-year note. So when investors get nervous, they put more money into government bonds for safety because unlike stocks, the returns are pretty much guaranteed. The problem is, the more bonds they buy, the lower rates go. That's because of the basic rule of bonds. Demand pushes the price of bonds up, but the yield or the rate then goes down. Now here's the big fear about the inverted yield curve. The last 5 times there's been an inversion, a recession has followed, not always right away. In fact, historically, it's been more like 12 to 18 months later. It also doesn't always happen. Go back to the mid-1960s, the yield curve inverted, but no official recession followed. Now, some economists also argue that the current yield curve has become distorted by central banks buying trillions of dollars worth of bonds that's pushed yields even lower. So it remains to be seen if this current inverted yield curve is still a reliable predictor of a future recession.
In the next 20 years, 30 years, there will be a pandemic, and it will have the potential to bring humanity to its knees.
New strains of influenza are already infecting birds in over 75 countries. And the way we are interacting with the animal world is putting us at risk. We encroach on wetlands, so wild birds mix more frequently with domestic poultry. Our food trade is completely globalized, and factory farms are growing in scope and size.
With all influenzas, there is some critical moment when a virus circulating in one species of, say, birds manages to mutate in a form that allows it to get into, say, pigs, and then from there to spread easily between people. We've seen this over and over. It's going on all the time. Right at this moment,